Hi, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We are continuing the Pacific. This is episode 9, titled Okinawa. So yeah, we're going to Okinawa in this episode, most likely. And in the last one, titled Iwo Jima, we didn't spend the majority of that episode on Iwo Jima. It was just the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The bulk of the episode was...
Barcelona.
that was Barcelona. That was his arc, pretty much, from when he did all the stuff back in the States with the war bonds, and then falling in love, and him going back into the service, going to Iwo Jima, and then unfortunately dying there.
Yeah.
That was really sad to see, and that was the end of Barcelona. And I didn't know that beforehand, but
No.
yeah.
But we touched on the fighting, and we saw there was heavy fighting on Iwo Jima, and I expect to see some fighting as well on this on Okinawa. I know it was the biggest amphibious assault during the Second World War, and there's a lot of ships, and there was a lot of kamikaze pilots, and a lot of fighting on Okinawa as well. So they probably can't avoid it this much, and this one as they did in the last one, I think. So, but I'm looking forward to it and see where it takes us.
Yeah, definitely, and some of you guys have been telling us that this episode is one of the tougher ones, and the last really tough episode of the series before we get to the last one, which is titled Home, and most of the stuff we're going to see in that one is going to be in the States. So yeah. Let's see how this one plays out on Okinawa with the 1st Marines. So unless you have anything else you want to mention?
No further comments, no.
No further comments, fair enough. Then let's jump into it. You can, of course, always check out our full-length reactions where you can sync up the footage with your own copy of the episode. We also have early reactions for shows such as Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's all over on Patreon, and the link is down in the description below. And let's go.
And we got the map back. That's nice.
Yes. Here we go. Okinawa, May 1945.
And Naha, the city and the Shuri line.
That looks like Roscoe Festival.
Yeah. So they're already on Okinawa.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's the civilians.
Yeah. Unlike the other islands, this one was actually populated.
I wonder what they're thinking about the Marines. Probably
they've been taught that they are bad, so...
Yeah. That's what they've been told, yeah.
Let me see that photo of your wife Kathy again. I need something to jerk off to. She's perfect. Oh, Kathy. Harder. Harder.
All right.
Bummer.
Yeah.
New ponchos are full of chemicals.
Yeah. Take mine. Okay, thanks.
Send for five.
You just got tricked.
Yeah, bamboozled.
Out of the way, Hirohito.
Move the fuck down! You can't mistreat these men. They're protected by the Geneva Convention. Fuck the Geneva Code! Hey, hey!
I command these men. I'll take care of them.
You speak Japanese?
I'm an intelligence officer.
Well, maybe you should use your fucking intelligence to get these people off the trail. You hit another Japanese prisoner, I'll have you court-martialed.
Oh, shit, okay.
Again, they were dug in and...
Yeah, it doesn't look very different from
boxes
Peleliu right
and,
now.
No.
At all. Just more water, I guess.
Water and mud.
Yeah.
Come on, move!
Let's go. Lock it in there. Make sure this is straight. Hurry the fuck
Yeah, and the ground is so soft and muddy. Can they even lock those?
They have a base plate behind it, but it might shift, so...
drown in that hole without a trench for the runoff.
Don't know why you bother. They'll be dead in 2 days. Don't want to know their name. My name's Ham. H-A-2-M.
I just said, don't want to know your name.
I don't want to remember new guys' names because they might die. So
Yeah. What's that?
Holy hell. Jesus Christ. The
Ew.
fuck is that stench?
The dead are everywhere.
Fire! Short round!
Oh shit.
that's the issue with it digging down in the mud.
Yeah.
It changes its alignment, so
Yeah, you risk. Oh shit.
Fire! Try again? No, I'm fucking rounds are all wet.
oh, tell us that idiot.
Hmm?
He took the poncho, the good
Oh
one.
yeah.
Ammo.
That's why, yeah. I thought, yeah, that was gonna have some consequences.
One of the big issues with the mortar is if you're on hard ground, like on solid ground, it bounces around. But if you're on soft soil, it'll dig itself in. So they have to keep aligning it.
Damn, it's not easy to see what's going on. Oh.
That's civilians.
Yeah.
Hey! That kid's still alive! That kid's still alive!
Yeah, they might get killed by both sides.
Fuck yeah. For civilians. Shit. Oh fuck.
Hey! He's dead! Keep moving! Fire!
Yeah. No words needed.
Nope.
Buddy and I were hopping subway cars from Brooklyn. His brains and bones got sprayed all over my face and chest.
Damn.
Never ever forget something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd marry her.
Wow.
Barry, Kathy Jones? Thought you said your name was Peck. It's not your wife.
I met her after I was drafted.
What? Drafted.
Oh. They're retreating?
Yeah.
Spread out! Make sure to check everything! That house right there!
Are they really retreating, or is it just a way to draw them in?
They kept moving back and forth several places. There's a place called Sugarloaf Hill. It changed hands 11 times.
Sugarloaf.
Sugarloaf Hill. Probably had another name, but
11 times. Damn.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Moving uphill. No, thank you.
in the mud. Nah.
While they have the high ground. Potentially. If they're still there.
Civilian! Leah! Let's go move through! Come on, get out! Come on!
Okinawa was part of Japan, but like a protectorate of Japan, so the population was not Japanese as such. But
Can't take a baby. It's not gonna have a better chance. Oh no, oh no, oh no, it's because she's fucking, oh no. Oh fuck, I thought about mentioning what if they strapped explosives to them, but yeah. That's why she did it. Fuck. And now, here they come.
yeah.
Okay, so it was a way to lure them in. And now they're just shooting everybody.
Yeah, they pushed the civilians over the top as well, so
Oh shit.
It really shows how ugly it gets.
Yeah. Doesn't get much uglier than seeing civilians pushed into it and die like that.
And some of them were like taught to be mentally thinking like the Japanese.
Yeah, like the Americans are evil and
Yeah. Go out fighting, take 10 Americans with you, or some Japanese soldiers also dressed up as the civilians, and so you couldn't really tell apart if it was really someone coming to kill you or a civilian
yeah, doesn't.
trying to surrender. So
It's really fucked up. And as a Marine or a soldier, like not knowing whether or not the civilians coming towards you, if they mean you any harm or if you
are supposed to take care of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
How the fuck can they do that? Fly themselves into a ship?
Emperor's
said.
God.
Kamikaze.
Duty to God. I hope we get to kill every last one of them.
Wow, Eugene.
God damn it, give it back.
Forget about it. You're fucking married anyway.
Fuck you!
Guys, no. Oh fuck, okay. Oh shit. Oh.
Grow up, Ham.
Fuck you, Sledge.
That's the talk.
Yeah. Fuck you too.
Where you from, Ham with two M's? So now you want to know where they're from?
Eugene seems kind of worn out.
Yeah, a bit fed up.
What's the date? June 5th, maybe? Might be the 6th.
Hey,
They're closing on the end.
you dig that any deeper, they'll get you for desertion.
I'm already working on your Christmas present.
Here. Did you have to pour it out right there? Or I guess it doesn't really matter.
Ham! Get a spool!
No, no. Oh shit.
Imagine the stench.
I don't think I even can.
Left 2-0. Add 50 and try again. Target. Market concentration Baker for this sector.
Nice shooting.
Mm-hmm. What did they hit? Who did they hit? Oh. Triggered a fucking Banzai attack.
Wait. Wait till they're close.
Oh, he's running with a fucking katana.
Jesus, Sledge, leave him.
What for? He's a Jap, ain't he? Cease fire, goddammit! Use my goddamn hands if I had to.
Gene has really changed. Or the war has changed him.
Yeah.
Sit down! Come on, you fucker!
Heck, what the fuck? Don't. What? No, fuck.
You stupid bastard!
These guys are really falling apart.
Yeah.
And there's that fucking poncho.
They tried hiding in the caves and come out fighting, and you had civilians hiding in the caves as well, but getting killed when you fired with
Yeah.
flamethrowers in there.
Might be a trap.
Yeah, the first thought is that might be a trap.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. Circumstances are so fucked up that when you hear a baby crying, you don't, yeah.
And your soldiers hiding in between the civilians. And
Exactly. It doesn't look like a trap.
that's the shell that he called,
Yeah.
most likely.
Yeah.
People fired mortars up here. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
She probably wants to die.
Put me out of my misery, please.
Can't do it. Oh, he needed to get a little bit of humanity back into him.
Yeah. I think he needed to do something other than killing. Just for a quick second at least.
Yeah, I got him! How's that? Clean shot!
You feel good? Huh? Killing your first Jap?
He's a damn kid. What's your problem? He's a Jap. We're here to kill Japs, ain't we?
That was what he said just a little while ago.
Yeah. But I get the conflicted feelings. I really do.
Heard Layden made it back to the States.
Son of a bitch always said he was first.
Oh, he did.
All right, enough with the sunbathing. Let's go. Move out.
He started off as a non-smoker and now he's an old guy with a pipe.
Yeah. Went from not smoking to a pipe.
Dropped some kind of new bomb on the Jap mainland.
Oh.
Vaporized an entire city in the blink of an eye. Anyway, killed a lot of Japs.
Reached the end.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Flying fortresses.
Damn.
B-29.
Whew, all right.
Well, we did touch on some battle this time.
We definitely did. A lot of it.
Yeah. We didn't see the landing because, well, we got in the middle of the fight, more or less.
Yeah, they just dropped us. Yeah, in the middle of everything, and we didn't see them arriving. But yeah, you know something about
it.
Yeah.
It made sense with the first Marines arriving a little later as a backup, more or less. And yeah, the battle lasted from April 1st, and it didn't have much fighting going in, and it called it Landing Day or Love Day, and they thought it was pretty easy in the beginning to get across the island. And in the south, there's a lot of fighting, and that's what we saw here with the first Marines came down as well.
Yeah. You mentioned that. Yeah, when they landed, they didn't really encounter a lot of resistance at first because they landed in a area on the island where there weren't a lot of enemies. They were dug in elsewhere. But when they then encountered them,
they were dug in very well, and there was a lot of pillboxes, and there's also all the caves that people would hide in as well. And also, I think it shows very well that this is the first island where there's a civilian population, and we didn't see any fighting. And there's a big city there, Naha, where they went in, and the U.S. Marines trained city fighting, or the U.S. soldiers trained city fighting as well, and they got to do that on Okinawa. We saw the bad part with with the civilians and the soldiers in the same place, you can't really tell them apart, and you have a lot of civilian casualties. I mean, this was the biggest amphibious landing done in World War II, and we lost a lot of people, a lot of soldiers there. But so did the Japanese. They lost about 70, 80,000 people. But apart from that, there was civilian populations of around 300,000 on Okinawa, and up to half of them died. You can find a lot of stuff on the internet and a lot of footage from the whole battle itself as well, because the US put cameramen and photographers in with the troops, embedded with the troops. So you got a lot of footage from that time, so you can actually see it today. And I know we learn from history, and right after the war, the history is written by the winner. So if you find some of the old footage from there with the commentary on, it's definitely the winner telling you how it went. But still, the photos doesn't lie as much, or shows it more the way it was. So
it shows it from the American side of things, but it still shows the.
You can
it gives
see
us
the brutality.
Yes, exactly. It gives us a sense of what really happened there, the reality of things, and how hard the fighting was, and what they encountered.
There was only one mentioning about the Kamikaze pilot, but that was really around Okinawa. The Japanese sent a lot of Kamikaze pilots to take out all the ships. There was about 1,000 US ships used in this landing. So that was a target-rich environment for the Kamikaze pilots.
Yeah, that's where they encountered a lot of that then, and really got familiar with. Oh, they'll just fly straight into the planes or into the ships.
They even tried to fly into planes. They tried to use Kamikaze pilots against the B-29 bombers. You saw
at the end.
Try to avoid having them hit cities in Japan, but the whole idea by the Kamikaze pilot was take a guy, train him to fly the plane just barely. That's just more or less, that's all he needs.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be able to land it or anything.
But trying to hit a plane flying and not being a good pilot yourself, that was too difficult. They didn't get anything out of that. They even tried making special Kamikaze planes, more like a
flying bomb or something.
Yeah, flying bomb, more or less. They called them baka bombs, so the US dubbed them baka bombs, and Japanese baka means idiot, so idiot bombs.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it does. I know that from watching Naruto, because they use that a lot. Baka.
Idiot bombs.
Yes.
There's a lot of baka thing going on.
Yeah.
When they didn't have enough weapons, they use it still today. If you take a stick and put a knife at the end, it's like an idiot stick. I mean, if you don't have a gun, you can still go out fighting with an idiot stick, but I would hate doing that.
Yeah, and even
bring a knife to a gunfight. So that's always
There is something, of course, in a sense, something badass about running towards your enemy with a drawn sword, with a katana and like samurai, but running towards someone with a gun. Yeah, then that katana is not really going to do anything for you there.
Stupid in my book, anyway.
Yeah, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Just don't do that. Then you will most certainly lose.
But the whole idea behind the Kamikaze attacks was divine wind. That was Kamikaze. It means something like the divine wind or something like that. And it referred to back in 1274 or something like that. The Mongols were trying to invade Japan, and there was a real tropical storm, a typhoon. That blew away all the Mongol ships. So that was the divine wind idea behind it. So we will set up the divine wind ourselves with all the Kamikaze pilots and planes flying into ships, and
and that will repel the invaders. Once again,
they'll disperse of the invaders' ships that way. So that was the whole idea behind it. They even tried it with ships as well, or small boats, making them Kamikaze boats, and they more or less also, there was a lot of sea battles going on at the same time. They tried to take the biggest battleships down to more or less a suicide attack on the whole U.S. Marine or Navy in that area. So that was really, they put in a last effort in that area around there. And I think also people talk about, a historian talk about, this was one of the main factors as well for let's go with the atomic bomb, because looking at the casualties at Okinawa, and that was not even the mainland Japan. So we could actually save lives with these atomic bombs, or at least that's what the historians are talking about. It's also a lot of talk about that the Russian involvement had something to do with it as well. That was one of the main reasons that the Japanese surrendered. Not only the atomic bombs, but also that the Russians were moving into Manchuria and so on. So again, I'll leave that to the historians to decide whatever it goes. But again, history is great to learn from.
Yeah, definitely.
It won't always tell the truth. It will be written by the winner. But over time, we can see now all the footage and all that's been recorded in that time. We can use that and we can learn from it. And still, I find it fascinating to hear about, read about, and there's so much stuff on the internet, on YouTube, movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, and as you're saying, if you're just just a little bit critical about what you're reading and who wrote it, and if you try to get thinking it like if you try to get like the full picture of something that happened in history, and yeah, it makes sense that you will of course get some information from whoever won that encounter. The history is written by the victors, but also gain a lot of knowledge from different sources, and from those who maybe didn't win, or trying to see all sides in a way, and then you can maybe get like a more clear picture of what actually went down and what happened. And I think that's also something that's happening in recent years, and people finding a lot of new information from different sources, and sources that we didn't visit in previous years. And I do like that we didn't see a lot from we didn't really see anything from the Japanese perspective, but just seeing here in Okinawa and the civilians being there, and it getting closer to actual Japan, and it's not just happening on these Pacific islands. I know Okinawa is still an island and not on the mainland, but it was still closer to that culture, and
it was populated, more densely populated.
Yeah, exactly.
With small islands, so not that many civilians there.
Yes, and that's where the whole, for Eugene at least, and for many others I'm sure, where the whole humanity aspect, it came back into play, and that's what he kind of found again, his humanity.
That was done very well, with the sort of losing his humanity, being more mentally stupid, put it that way, and then returning to his humanity after seeing that these are actually just people.
Yes.
So
human beings who are suffering, and they don't want this any more than he does.
But there's a lot of stories as well about all the bad thing with the civilians there. First of all, they were told to go out fighting. They were even more or less drafted. Some of the civilians drafted in to be soldiers, and told to take out 10 soldiers, enemy soldiers, before dying themselves, and told to kill themselves. There was people jumping from cliffs because they were told to kill themselves.
Or they just strapped explosives to them, like we saw in that one scene with the lady who tried to give away her baby. And I was a little bit confused seeing her doing that, because I was like, well, that baby's not going to have a better chance if you hand it off to someone else. But of course it was because she knew she knew that I'm gonna blow up in a second. Please take my baby. So yeah, that's really that's hard to watch, and maybe you guys also noticed me just looking away just at one point during that scene when he was actually holding that the woman who was dying, holding her in his arms, and it's just it makes you feel certain things, and it makes you feel for these people, and especially thinking that, this was something that really happened. This is a very close representation of what really went down. And thinking back on that, it's war really is hell. And that's what this series, I think, the Pacific, just in general, it's really good. It really shows that. and most, you know, from the perspective of the Marines and the impact on them. That's what it's really showing us, like how it will impact you as a Marine or a soldier going into war and seeing all of this shit going on around you, seeing your friends die, like, yeah, staying in the mud, in the shit for I don't know how long, X amount of days, and just moving from shit situation to shit situation. Like
But
what
still,
it does.
also
Yeah.
it shows a bit about how they do banter with each other and make fun of the guy.
Exactly, how you try to
yeah.
overcome all
Yeah.
of that, that you're encountering as a person, and trying to battle it mentally as well. Like there's a lot of mental battles going on just beyond the physical ones in this series, and I really dig that they're diving more into the mental aspect of it, because as you've mentioned multiple times, that's not really something that you talked about or addressed years and years ago. The mental side of things, and
PTSD,
the PTSD
was that was not at that time. That was just a battle fatigue or something like that. But I mean, some of the videos you can see with the all the guys telling about their time there, you'll see that it really got to them mentally as well.
Yeah.
And also, I saw a short video about the Okinawan people trying to figure out how many really died there, and they were trying to find out different family lines and so on. But the whole families died, so they couldn't really come up with the exact number. I think they got up to around 80,000 did, and probably more. So it's somewhere between 42,000 and 150,000 out of 300,000 people died. And some were working more or less with the Japanese mental or the Bushido code in their head, rather die than surrender. Or the Bushido code is actually like 7 virtues, samurai virtues. So the World War II version of the Bushido code is the death before surrender. But actually, it's more about integrity and all that stuff. So you can
honor,
look up honor, stuff like that. You can look it up on the internet. It's
a pretty interesting read.
It's and the whole idea behind having a code of conduct that makes sense, that you should have your integrity and honor and stuff like that, makes good sense. But
some rules, both, you know, morally and rules in general, and they also just touched very briefly on Geneva Convention. In this one, and the treatment of prisoners.
Yeah, but that was the Americans signed the Geneva Convention, the Japanese didn't. So they really didn't know much about it. So we didn't see many Japanese soldiers surrender, but they did at the end. And as I said, they came out naked. You can also see videos on the internet with people surrendering, coming out naked out of the caves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And again, with the Bushido code, just to get back to that, as I said, it's a good code, but like anything else, it can be used and misused. So you can actually misuse it and get a whole population saying that rather death than surrender, because that's the most honorable thing to do for the emperor. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I think this episode here, I could talk a lot about Okinawa and the whole fighting around that area, but the whole episode, sometimes I want to fan out a bit to see more of the battle, because that's interesting from a historical point of view, but from a mental point of view and a personal point of view, with this the whole scene, to seeing the fighting close up and the whole having misfires and short rounds, or calling artillery on your own troops by mistake, trying to support them, but really calling rounds on yourself.
Yeah,
that's shown very well here.
Yeah, and realizing that the artillery strike that you just ordered most likely killed a lot of civilians. That's also a part of it. So as you said, we don't get the complete overview of what went down in the Pacific and all the battles, and in this one specifically with Okinawa, but it's more of a deep dive into, you know,
the personal things of soldiers,
the personal experience of the Marine, and in this case very much
but I thought that they would have sort of shown the landing was easy, and then make a short stop where Franklin Delano Roosevelt died and Truman took over around mid-April.
They didn't address that at all. No.
And they actually more or less skipped through those and went all the way down to saying the first bomb of over Hiroshima. Sort of like that's really the beginning of the end when dropped that bomb.
Yeah, very much. So yeah, it's getting ready to wrap up the whole war part of this series, and as we touched briefly on in the intro, the last one we're getting into, that's probably mostly going to be about them coming home, and the whole homecoming experience of it, and having experienced everything that happened. How do you proceed as a person? All that. How do you integrate back into society?
Yeah. Again, I thought it was nice episode, good episode, showed a lot of good stuff, and and also I kind of enjoyed this because I dive a little bit more into the history before the episodes and the whole Pacific campaign.
Yeah,
kind
you're
of
doing
got to me.
research.
Yeah, kind of got to me. So I dove a little bit into it, and I'm enjoying it. And all your comments and all that, and links to videos. I said it before. Let me say it again. I like it. I enjoy it. Thank you.
Yes, it's very nice that you want to share your knowledge with us, and pointing us to other videos and places where we can get even more knowledge and about everything that went on in World War II and in this Pacific in general. And we touched on it briefly in the last one, and talking about a couple of movies that we're thinking about maybe watching, Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
We haven't really decided on anything yet. It's just talking about it, and you also have to, get time off from work and all of that stuff. But we do want to do more stuff like this in the future when we are done with the Pacific. So yeah, and we will let you guys know what we decide and when and how, and what we're going to be watching / talking about. If it's a movie or another series, it's we'll get into it.
Yeah, I might look old, but I still enjoy learning. I think you should do that all your life.
Yes, you're never too old to learn. And with that, that's going to do it for this reaction and review of the Pacific, episode 9, Okinawa. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.